Welcome! In this series of videos, we're showing how LogTen Pro supports you through your whole aviation career. In this third video, we'll explore a range of features designed specifically for commercial and airline pilots. Feel free to use the chapters listed in the description to navigate directly to the sections most relevant to you. First, let's set our typical role to Airline First Officer by tapping Account, Settings, My Logbook, and choose Airline First Officer. This will pre-configure most of the fields we'll need as an Airline First Officer. You'll notice on this screen the default pay rates section. You can use the duty pay rate section to track your hourly rate, or you could use it to track per diem rates. Also, here you'll be able to set LogTen to automatically log yourself as pilot flying for new flights. And this will be linked to the autofill landings option, which then defaults to only when pilot flying. But you can change this to always or never depending on the flying you're doing. Now we'll go back and tap on Time Calculations. Here we'll choose to calculate from out-in times so that LogTen can automatically calculate our night time. We'll also set allowances for when duty periods start prior to departure and after arrival. We'll set this as 45 minutes prior to departure and 20 minutes after arrival. And now all flights will include this additional time automatically in the duty section of your logbook. We'll set flight duty times to default to on duty and actual in times. Finally, let's go back and turn on the notifications we want to have by turning notifications on for future flights, future duty periods, and expiring certificates. Tapping on the Logbook tab, you'll find the main dashboard of your logbook, which gives you access to all the key features you need to keep track of your flying, certificates, export reports and graphs with over 100 to choose from, and create specific backups you need. But don't worry, backups are also automatic. To start with, let's input our name in the People section so that all reports come out with our full name at the top. Tap on People, then Self, change the name, and add any further details you want, including a picture. Now you're ready to log your first flight. You have a few options to log a flight. If you have an Apple Watch, you can use LogTen's Fly Now feature. See the link in the description for a video. On iPhone or iPad, at any time you can tap the New Entry button to log a flight. There are also widgets available to view an upcoming flight, see your limits and currencies, and track goals. Again, see the link in the description for a video. To log on the Mac, just hit the plus button here. You can also import your schedule for over 100 airlines in LogTen for Mac. Just click File, then Import Schedule. Choose the schedule you want to import and then follow the prompts. LogTen is even linked through many roster apps like Flight Crew View, Cruise Control, iAIMS, and RosterBuster. Back in LogTen for iPhone, we can see a schedule we imported previously in orange. When it comes to logging actual times, we tap on the flight to log the details. A quick scroll through shows you the fields that are being tracked based on our typical role choice of Airline First Officer. Of course, there are hundreds of other fields you can add to track exactly the data you want to. To add other fields specific to your flying, tap the Actions button in the top right. Here, not only can you configure your logbook, you can also see multiple options for quicker data entry, including next leg, return trip, and duplicate flight. You can also have a flight sign from here and share the flight with a crew member, so only one person has to log the flight. As I mentioned earlier, I fly reserve and I want to track my pay, so I'll add these fields to the duty section now, as they are not on by default. So for this example, we'll tap Configure Fields, then tap Configure Section in the Duty section, and turn Duty, Flight, Scheduled Rates, as well as Total Earnings to On. LogTen works great on the fly. Let's show you how to add a flight with all the details from scratch. We start by tapping the New Entry button. If this is a positioning or other type of duty, you can use the Entry Type field here. Next, we enter the flight number and then tap Aircraft ID. It's an aircraft we've never flown before, so we tap the plus button in the top right, enter the ID, then choose the type from LogTen's database, and fill in any additional details we want to. If it's an aircraft we will be flying frequently, we can set it as default or as a favorite. This will bring it to the top of the list for future flights or add it by default to every new flight. You'll notice that aircraft type automatically fills in, And if we tap the I, we can see all the details for that type. This is very important to be filled in correctly, so that LogTen can do 100% accurate calculations in the background. Next, tap the From Location arrow and LogTen automatically inputs your departure airport. On Engine Start, tap Now in the Out field, and then tap Now in the Off field when off blocks, and the current time is logged for each. After landing at your arrival airport, tap Now on the On field, and then Now in the In field on Engine Stop. You'll notice that your total time is automatically calculated. Any field set to autofill in setting, like SIC, Cross Country, and IFR, automatically populate. You can then add any additional details you want to. Scrolling to the Duty section, note that when we tap the time in the On Duty section, it uses our out time and adds on the 45-minute before our out. And if this is the last flight of the day, we tap the time in the Off Duty section, and LogTen adds the 15 minutes of default for after arrival that we set up earlier. If it's not the last flight of the day, make sure to leave this blank and tap the Off Duty on your last flight of the duty period so your duty is calculated correctly and limits can be tracked effectively. We can then add details for the flight like takeoffs, landings, holds, approaches, and any remarks. You can also share the entry with other crew members using LogTen Pro's handy share feature. Just tap the Actions button in the top right and choose Share. It's useful to note that the share feature can also be used for aircraft, people, places, certificates, trips, and groups. Next, let's look at LogTen's Analyze and Plan features. Tap on Analyze on the bottom navigation. Here you can get quick answers to questions about your flying. The calendars at the top give you access to data in the last 7, 28, 90 days, and 6 and 12 months. Let's tap on 6 months. We get a summary of all our flying in that time period, including engine types, total instrument, night, actual instrument, PIC, SIC simulator, as well as a summary of time in each of the aircraft we've flown during that period, as well as duty, landings, and operations information. Tap the back button, and at the bottom you have smart groups that we've set up to track specific custom data. Smart groups can track multiple criterion based on virtually any aspect of your flying. For more information on setting up smart groups, please see the Harnessing the Power of Smart Groups tutorial linked in the description below. Moving on to the Plan tab, you'll find LogTen's industry-first dynamic time loop feature, which enables pilots to see in real time their currency and limits information, including duty and rest limits. You can easily scroll back and forward in time to see your past and future by scrolling on the time loop bar at the top. Many currencies and limits are already included as defaults when you set up LogTen for the first time. Most FAR 117 requirements for the US and EASA requirements for Europe are included by default. If there's anything you want to add, simply tap the plus button on the top left and choose the currency, limit, or certificate you wish to track. To learn more about setting up currencies, limits, and certificates, check out our popular downloadable groups article linked in the description below. For users who want to track advanced FAR 117 limits, LogTen automatically calculates your maximum allowed duty for the day based on start time, number of flights, number of crew, and rest facility. You can turn this feature on by tapping the Account tab, then Settings, then Display Options, and turning Show FAR 117 Limits to On. Now, back on the Plan tab, we see our limits for this duty period at the top, acclimated to the appropriate time zone. For more information on setting up this advanced feature, check out the video in the description below. LogTen is also by your side when you're making a move to a new airline. First, your logbook is always up to date and printouts are perfect, legible, no scratchouts, no errors. Just tap the Logbook tab, then Reports, choose the logbook format you want to export, and generate the report for the time you want to show. Then hit Print. Need quick answers to questions your interviewer is asking about your flight time? Like how many hours PIC cross country you have? Tap Analyze, then the plus button in the Smart Group section, tap Add Smart Group, then tap the group, and tap Edit in the top right, pick a name for the group, PIC cross country, leave Display, in last, and in next set to the defaults, and then tap Configure, Category, Time, Key PIC, Operator greater than, and Value 0. Then tap Add Criterion, Category, Time, Key, Cross Country, Operator greater than 0. Done. Question answered in 10 seconds flat. And just tap on that new Smart Group for a detailed breakdown of the time for extra marks. For more tips and tricks on how LogTen can help you prepare for job interviews, check out the link in the description below. We hope this gives you a good overview of some of the great features LogTen has to support professional pilots. And remember, you can use LogTen for iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, and Mac completely free until you've logged more than 50 hours of flight time. And of course, if you have any questions about these or indeed any other features of LogTen, please don't hesitate to contact our fantastic support team direct by tapping Contact Support under the Accounts menu. Thanks for watching.